Hey, what's up, lightboltjoe here. Today we are going to discuss the brand new 2021 Disney original film Cruella. This came out May 28th, 2021, simultaneously with a Disney Plus Premiere Access and a theatrical release. My family did a Disney Plus Premiere Access, which was very convenient and like much cheaper than a theater and safer since you're home. Now, they announced this years ago, and we were all kind of skeptical, but then they were like, yeah, Emma Stone's going to be Cruella. And we were like, oh. And then they're like, yeah, and Emma Thomas is going to play Baroness. And we're like, oh. Not that there's a Baroness in the stories that we've been given, but we're like, oh, cool. And then Joel Fry, is that his last name? Joel Fisher? Joel Fry? I know him from, he's in Game of Thrones, and he's in Love, Wedding, Repeat on Netflix. Hysterical actor. Absolutely love him. But he's great. He's just so great and dramatic, but funny. He plays Jasper in this. So we get a young Cruella. She's a young kid, and she's like 12, give or take, and she's like rambunctious, but she's named Estella. And Estella lives with her mom, and her mom wears a family heirloom of a necklace, and Estella has a mean side of Cruella, and Cruella is the, rambunctious, high energy. She meets Anita during in school, and Cruella doesn't take shit from anyone, so she beats some kids up when they throw stuff at her head at lunch, and throws a kid in the dumpster after he picks on somebody else, things like that, right? Good defense mechanism. So Estella gets expelled, and her mom have to move to London, and in the process they stop at this giant mansion to visit an old family friend of Estella's mom, and the old family friend turns out to be the Baroness. So there's this massive party going on, and Estella has a puppy with her that she found, and the puppy and Estella run havoc throughout this fashion show that's going on within the house. Mark Strong is in this as well. We love Mark Strong, especially in Kingsman. Damn it, we gotta talk about those movies too. So many movies we gotta talk about. Anyway, but then the Dalmatians that the Baroness owns was like, she blows a whistle, the Dalmatians came, and she was telling them to attack Estella's mom. Estella's mom goes tumbling down a cliff. Estella runs away crying and, upset. So then she eventually hitches a ride to London and goes to this fountain that her and her mom planned on having tea at. And then that's where she meets a young 11, 12-year-old Jasper and a 12-year-old, Horace. So the three of them kind of stick together. And then we see them growing up into 20-something-year-olds doing, cons. What's the angle? Can they steal this here? Can they steal this there? And it became a heist movie at some point. And I'm like, yo, this is cool. I didn't expect it. Eventually, Estella gets hired by the Baroness to do fashion for the Baroness's line. And the Baroness is just evil. And she's stealing Estella's stuff. But then, Estella becomes Cruella as an alter ego to be the higher up in fashion to get more notoriety. So it's Battle of the Divas. And then eventually it's revealed after the Baroness tries to kill Cruella and Jasper and Horace in a fire that Mark Strong's character, he's like a servant to her, explains the deal with the necklace that the Baroness had, that the mom originally had, that there's a key inside which unlocks the truth to Estella/Cruella's past. And it turns out there's a birth certificate in this box where the Baroness is actually Estella's mom, and that Estella's mom who raised her was actually one of the housekeepers that they had to do secret trade-offs and stuff because the Baroness didn't want anyone to take away her spotlight. So then there's a whole mother-daughter battle at the end. Not really battle, but Cruella plans it around another party and having all of the guests attend watch as the Baroness pushes her off the edge so that way Estella is dead, and that way Cruella can rise from the ashes and then wreak havoc, and then Baroness is thrown in jail, and then Estella is the rightful heir to the mansion and money, so therefore Estella gifted her dear friend Cruella all of this stuff for them to, for Stella/Cruella, Jasper, Horace, and their friend Artie to use the mansion as their own base and stuff. Hell Hall, if you will. And we see her rip down the other word, and it says Hell Hall. Artie is the best character in this entire film. Loud, queer, proud, we love him. Love him. He's a great fashion designer. He's a great character. But they all work well together within that foursome of a dynamic. Like, they all worked so well. So it's a matter of what is the next heist? What is the next convincing? Is Cruella going to have her own line? We know this as the prequel, live action prequel to the 96 Glenn Close film. Glenn Close was a producer on this film. So this is keeping in with that type of lineage. So it's a matter of a lot of other stuff happens, obviously, before Glenn Close wants to kill some puppies. And they make some killing puppy jokes in the movie, but they are specific that it is a joke. This is rated PG-13. 96's and 2000's was rated G. Distinctly different. Those two are very violent films, and this is a violent film as well. Those should not be rated G. This should be rated PG-13. So it's interesting because we know the Baroness definitely has psychosis, and she passed on that psychosis to her daughter Estella, who's now Cruella. So it's a matter of how much more will the psychosis develop over the years for Jasper and Horace to then still, be her family, to still, help her do her cons and stuff. But, yeah, I really want a sequel. Like, a sequel would be so badass. It was just so well crafted. The fashion was incredible. The soundtrack was just 70s rock. It was just gorgeous. Cinematography was great. The Emma Thompson versus the Emma Stone, it was just the battle of the Emmas. And Jasper was just so great. Damn it, I forget his name again. The guy who plays Jasper, so fun. Jasper and Horace were just so fun together with their dogs. Oh my god, Wink was hysterical, the little dog. This was a great movie. I need there to be a sequel. It was just so much fun, but it had heart to it. And it's not a matter of trying to humanize Cruella. It's trying to show the actual origins of Cruella, the childhood, the 20-something-year-old, and then going up into Glenn Close was 47, I think, when the 96 version came out. So there's a 20-year gap then between Cruella as Emma Stone going into Cruella as Glenn Close in 96. There's a 20-year gap right there. So what happens in the 20 years? More scandal, I hope. That's it. That concludes our conversations on the 101 Dalmatian film series. All 5 films of those onto Indiana Jones. I looked it up. Disneyland and Disney Tokyo Sea are the only 2 places where the Indiana Jones Adventure ride is. Indiana Jones Adventure is in Disneyland, and then Indiana Jones Temple of the Crystal Skull is in Tokyo Sea. I thought there was one in Disney World, but there isn't. I looked it up specifically based off of what I was saying in the last one. So now moving on to Indiana Jones. I think there's only 4 films, right? I think there's 4 films. All right. It's going to be fun. Mucho mahalo.